Hey y'all, welcome back to the shed. I'm going to be building the workbench today. The bench is going to be, or work table, whatever you want to refer to it as. I'm going to go about 38 inches height, 6 feet long, with a shelf underneath it. The top is going to come out 24 inches. That'll be my work surface area. And then that will also leave room to build some heavy shelves over here on the end for some of the heavier tools. Then once I get this completed, I can start moving things in from the other shed and start organizing this as a place to actually work on little projects and for storage, which is desperately needed here at the house. And it will make Gail happy. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on this now. I'll try to, shoot some video as I go along. I will tell you about people who have YouTube channels and who make videos. That video I did yesterday of this loft, putting this loft together, that took maybe 30 minutes to build this. If I just cut the material, put it up, and was done with it, I might have 30 minutes in it. Trying to shoot video and move cameras around and that kind of stuff, I bet you I had at least 2.5 hours in trying to do this. So this workbench, in reality, should take about an hour, maybe, tops. But I guarantee I'm out here half a day trying to get video and everything. But that's what makes it fun. So I'm going to reposition the camera, carry some wood out to the sawhorses, and start making some cuts. I'll try to explain to you what I'm cutting as I go along. But the shelf and the top, that's going to have a framework underneath that I'm going to put OSB on top and on the shelf, and then I'll put something. This sheet of OSB was $8, a little less than $8. A sheet of smooth plywood was $40. So I'm going to put this OSB on here, and then I've got some stuff I'll put on top of another thing of material. I'll show you how I'm going to try to do it to at least make it a little bit smoother than working on OSB. But that's for later. Let me get started on my framework. I'll be back. Alright, the first pieces I'm going to cut for my two frames, the frame for the shelf, the frame for the top. I'm going to cut 4 pieces at 6 feet. For the outsides. And my nasty, crappy, low, wet, bent lumber. But since it's only a workbench, I figure it should be okay. And you know what, I'm going to do this. The outside's going to go like this and the inside, so I'm going to cut these 3 inches shy because I'm having 2x4 on the outside of it. I need a total of 72. I'm going to have an 1.5 inches. So I'm going to make these 69 inches. While I have these laid out here, I'm going to go ahead and mark where my cross pieces are going. Tie it all together. So I've got 69 inches. The middle of that's going to be 34.5. If I go 1.5 inches on each side of that, or 3/4 of an inch on each side of that mark, I'm going to put one right there. And then that leaves 33 3/4. Half of that is going to be 16 5/8. No, 16 3/8 would be half of 33 3/4 would be 16 3/8 would make it 32 3/4. I need to go 16 7/8. Okay, now I gotta write it down. I forgot my original. You said do my math now. 33 3/4. So I'm going to do 16 5/8. So I'm going to do 16 1/2 will give me the 33. And half of 3/4 is 3/8. So I'm going to do 16 5/8. That was my original thought. Even though I said 16 5/8 for half of 33 3/4, I actually marked off 16 7/8 because that is truly half of 33 3/4. I just said it wrong, so don't anybody be yelling at me that I messed that up. That's what I wanted. 16. Square. This is for stepping out, doing, steps. It's great for figuring out rafters, roof pitches, all that kind of stuff. My regular speed square is out at the cabin. So I've got these now. I need my top to be 24 inches. So I'm going to cut 2 pieces for the ends at 24 inches to make my 24 by 6 foot square. And then I will cut 3 pieces at 21 inches, which will give me my 1.5 inches, and my 1.5 inches, I'll put 21 inch pieces in here, then I'll have 24 inches overall. So that'll be for my top. Set these off to the side. Now, the shelf part on the bottom is going to be inset 1.5 inches. You will see why when I start putting it together. So, I'm going to make these, instead of 24.5 inches, or instead of 24 inches, these are going to become 22.5 inches. Alright, these are the frames I built. I decided not to shoot video of me putting them together because there's no need for you to have to watch a fat old guy crawling around on the floor, moaning and groaning, screwing all this stuff together. But one of these is 24 inches wide. That'll be the top shelf, or the top workbench. And then that's 22 and a half. That'll be the bottom shelf. The reason for the difference you will see in the next step of this project, which I'm going to be cutting the blocks for now, and the uprights. Remember, I want these at 38 inches. So that was all the cutting I did earlier. That was to make those two things. I hope you can see that. But now we'll get on to the next step of the process. Thank you. So now, I want that bottom shelf to be about a foot off of the floor. So I can get underneath it, I can sweep underneath it, and if things drop, I'll be able to get under it. So what I'm going to do is cut, I mean that's going to be 3.5 inches plus the OSB. So that's how thick it's going to be. I'll cut 8-inch blocks. That'll get me about a foot off the ground. And I'm going to cut these blocks and screw them up against the studs to rest that on. So, you know, it's a heavy frame. I mean, frames are heavy duty because I don't know what all I'm going to be doing on it. So, better to make it a little heavier than too light. So, what I need, I've got 5 studs to deal with. I'm going to cut 5 of those 8-inch blocks. And then in the front, I'm going to have 3 uprights that I'll need 8-inch blocks for. So I need a total of 8. And this would be much easier and quicker and faster if I used my chop saw, my miter saw. But that's in the old shed buried, and it's so big and bulky. I'm really hoping my kids, my birthday is Wednesday, by the way. And I got on my wish list, if you will, God, it's such nasty wood. At Lowe's, a compact sliding miter saw, 7.5 inch, lightweight, easy to maneuver, to do this kind of stuff with. Instead of having to lug that big old giant Craftsman that I got, I'd like to have a more portable one. So hopefully the boy's going to buy that for me. That and the stand for it. So I'm going to cut 8 inches. And I'm going to do a few of these, so I'm going to turn the camera off until I get all of them cut. That way you don't have to watch them cut. Alright, so I cut all my 8-inch blocks. And once I check for level, they all look pretty level now. Those are going to get screwed up against those studs. And that's the back of the shelf frame is going to rest on top of those. These blocks will be screwed into the studs, then the frame from the shelf will be screwed into the studs. And then the front of it, I have to do a different way because, well, obviously I don't have studs to screw into. So I have to make something, and I will be back here directly and show you how I'm going to handle that. I'm going to go ahead and screw all these in, and then I'll talk about how I'm going to do the front half of it. So I will be back.
Look, where's Dad?
So Maggie has to come over and inspect the work now. Yes. Come on in. Come on in. Can you make it?
Come on up. There you go.
Yeah.
That's gonna sort of slobber.
Yep. The shed's not ours till it gets slobber in it. Maggie. Hey. Oh my goodness. What do you think? Huh?
This
Charlie
big
got to come in before she did.
enough- This big enough doghouse for you, huh?
Well, if you hook up the air conditioner and all that,
Bring the couch out
then
there?
it could work. A couch, TV. Alright. A little bigger than a chicken coop, isn't it? Remember when they got the chicken coop? Or at least Misha did? When we were building
Oh,
it?
yeah, we should have.
Yeah. Man. Alright.
Well, baby kitty didn't run off the porch.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
I told you none of them are afraid of Maggie.
I mean, a little intimidating when that big old head comes to you. But Maggie didn't care.
Go on, baby. There you go.
Her babies are like this big.
Damn.
I said, Nick, you gotta keep an eye.
Where you going?
Hey,
She's going for a walk. With or without you.
because baby kitty's babies are walking out. I said,
There's Charlie.
here's the problem. You know, take the babies out.
Charlie. Charlie.
He listens as good as she does.
I know. Well, she's deaf. He just ignores.
That's true. All right, I'm going in the house.
All right. So, you see the back supports for the shelf. So what I'm going to do now is make the front uprights, if you will. And what I told you was, I wanted the height of the workbench to be about 38 inches. So I'm going to cut 3 pieces of the better lumber at 38 inches, because those are going to be in the front of the workbench. So now what I have to do is take those pieces. Remember my 8-inch blocks that I used on the back? I've got to put them on these. Okay, I've had to enlist Gail's help again. Make sure I'm still recording. Yeah. So, what we're going to do is take this one, and we're going to, God,
Where are you going, huh?
this is the least ugly. Neither one of them are both ugly as hell.
I know they are.
So, this is going to go here.
Okay.
It's going to go up against there and rest on top of those.
Okay.
And then we're going to take one of these and put it for the front and
Okay.
rest it on there.
Okay.
So you grab yours. Let's fit this over. Like that.
Oh, it's going. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was
No.
skating
like that.
Oh, okay.
Then this. You got to put, well,
Is that what?
yeah.
Is it going on the inside?
No, just like that. So, then what will happen is, I will cut the OSB shelf to go on there,
Yeah.
right? I'm going to screw 3 of these in.
Okay.
Then I will cut a few more pieces to screw onto here,
Yeah.
and we'll set this top one on. When it goes on, it will go on the outside of this
Okay.
and screw in, then it'll be perfectly flat,
Okay.
and then I can cut the OSB for the top shelf.
All right.
And there we have a workbench.
All right.
Pretty cool, huh?
Mm-hmm.
So,
See, that's pretty.
and very strong.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll work. When I try to, okay, let's try to put this in there. And I want it to
Is
be,
this face up or face down?
let's face down,
Okay.
and I need this blue on the outside. Damn it. How do I do it? How do I do it?
That's why they call you Dr. Joe.
Oh my goodness.
All right. Now
That's just surprising. That you can leave for a while, because I got to do some measuring, cut some 2x4s. Well, actually, we can rip this other piece. Let me show you. Grab the camera off the tripod and show you my new saw. I love that thing. You know, I was using the DeWalt. I love it, but like I mentioned, I need a new blade for it. That thing rips through this OSB like butter. I was amazed, didn't it, dear? It just flew through there. So that's my new saw. I got to cut some more pieces now. I'll show you what I'm going to cut next. What I have to do now is measure up here. I need to cut pieces to go on these so that my top of the workbench will sit on top of this, on top of those, and outside here and screw in. So, I just love how that fits. It's coming together. That's a nice show.
yes, it is.
So, I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to cut 4 pieces of wood, 4 pieces of 2x4 and screw them on. And then I'm going to come up with something here, kind of, maybe I'll bevel it since I got that new saw. I'll bevel something to where I can ride on here when I slip it over the top. And then I'm going to cut, I'm going to rip the 24 inches of what's left over there so that it covers all of this up. Everything will be covered. So, I'll be back. Alright, so I've got these in the back to rest the top on. I just put a temporary block here, so when I set this frame on here, I can hold it while I screw things down. And now, we'll see if it'll work or not. See if I can put this on here. Oh, you dummy. Trial number 2. Hey, what I did wrong, I had this in the middle here where one of my braces going across is. So it couldn't slide down over this. I'm hoping now I'm out of the way and it'll rest on this. So let's see what happens. That's what I want. Alright, there is my workbench. Thrown together. So, I'm happy. That's what I was hoping to get. It's very functional, very strong, and look at the bubbles. That's close enough for me. I guarantee you that's close enough for me. Let's see. There's the other direction. Now, I'm going to get a 1x6 or 1x8, whatever I happen to find out at the property, because I don't have anything here, but to make a backsplash basically for it. So nothing rolls off the back, and you cut around the window there with like a backsplash. And I might put some pegboard behind it and a shelf on top, because there's plenty of room still. But yeah, that's what I wanted. And it didn't take, in reality, it didn't take that long to do. It was a lot of fun. A couple of things I forgot, but I was able to go back and fix them. Now I just got to tighten everything up, and I have me a place to work out here on some projects. So there's my loft and my workbench and shelf. So there's a start. I think that's pretty much it. Hope you enjoyed this, putting this together. If you got any questions, any suggestions, you want to laugh at me because I did something wrong or took too long or something, I don't know. I had fun putting this together. That's all that matters. Now I have something functional I can come out here and do some projects on. That's what I wanted. But this is Joe. Hope you all have had a safe weekend. Hope you enjoy your time off. And I'll see you next time I put a video up. I'm out.